I'm Jeanette Hammond from the American Legion Auxiliary. I am chair of the Poppy Fundraiser. I've been doing this for about 6 years. The history of the Poppy is that in 1950, after World War I, there was a mass grave of soldiers that passed away, and the poppy just grew there naturally. So that became the world's known poppy, a flower for the veterans. And then in 1921, a colonel wrote a poem in Flanders Field regarding the poppy. I enjoy doing this because once I retired, I wanted to find something that had a cause that I believed in and I thought should keep going forward within the community of Faribault, and all over the country. Really, it should go forward. All the people that you talk to are so very grateful that we are keeping this going. They they contribute to the Poppy Fund because we support our local veterans. We go to all the nursing homes and assisted living facilities in the community of Faribault 4 times a year. We have 65 to 70 veterans in those assisted living or facilities, and they get a gift 4 times a year. We have done, last year we did 10 Thanksgiving dinners for veterans. Every year we support the Believe It in Northfield. They train service dogs for the veterans. We have a daughter that drives from Hudson, Wisconsin to Believe It once a week, and she helps train the dogs over there. We also support Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. We support Minnesota Paralyzed Veterans. Anything doing with a veteran. If they let us know they need something, we will help them out. So that's the reason I am with the American Legion Auxiliary. It's something I believe in, and I have 5 brothers that were in the military. One of them was in Vietnam, and the others just served in peacetime. But 5 brothers. My dad was a farmer, so he never had to go to war because they didn't take farmers at that time. They needed the food supply. So that's my story.
Hi, I'm Karen Rasmussen. I'm a member of the Unit 43 here in Faribault, and this year I found a poem or a saying by an unknown author of what the poppy symbolism is. The 4 petals represent dedication, sacrifice, responsibility, and compassion. The red petals stand for the outpouring of blood, the black, the mud, and the decimation of all battlefields. The green of the stem and the foliage is symbolic of the forests, meadows, and fields where generations of Americans have perished to make this land free. The stem represents the courage and determination of our fallen warriors. The assembled product, a flower, a symbol of the resurrection which is sure to come. And on the back it says, honor the dead and the living, wear a poppy. Measure of a man may be his willingness to serve his country. The measure of a country may be the willingness to honor those who served. And this is being presented by our American Legion Auxiliary Unit 43. If a person wants them when they make a donation for a poppy, or if they just want the bookmark. We plan to have them at Hy-Vee, Fairway, Donahue's Greenhouse, and the Depot during lunch.
I'm Kathy Larson, and I've been the president for our wonderful Faribault American Legion Auxiliary for the last 2 years, and we do so much for the community and for veterans and their families. One reason that I'm so pleased and thrilled to be the president is the fact that my mom and one of her sisters from a family of 7 girls were the first 2 ladies to join the WACS, Women's Air Corps, in World War II, and that was from the first in North Dakota. And my dad, who was from a large family, he's one of 10 in a poor family in Minnesota, in Barnesville, was in the service too. He served 4 years or more in the Aleutian Islands up in Alaska. And then my mom and he met in Ephrata, Washington at the base, got to know each other, both, so much alike as far as family and religion, and they both loved to dance, and they had one dance contest and whatever. So they got married while they were in the service. So that was wonderful, the start of a family of 6 kids. Then my dad went on to teach at the North Dakota State School of Science in Wahpeton, North Dakota. So that's where I'm from originally. And also, my husband, Dave Larson, passed away 9 years ago, but he was in the service up in the Air Force up in Alaska for 4 years before I met him. And we met here and, of course, got married. And he was a very loyal member here of the Legion and the Honor Guard, and was always so proud of serving his country. And the wonderful women that are in our group, as you can see, they're helping and doing so many things and so many projects. We've just had our big salad luncheon for donations to help families. We do so much for the homeless, for people at Fisher House, for the Hastings Veterans Home, for schools. We give out $300 worth of school supplies every year to an elementary school here in town. And we gave 2,500 granola bars to the teachers and staff out of the 21 schools that are in our town. And I think what's most reassuring is that we are helping the country and helping here to know that the military is so important, and we just have to do the honoring and help them so much survive. And the girls like you here are very wonderful to get to know, so a lot of camaraderie. So anyway, thank you for coming today and taking your time to do this.
I'm Jack Clausen, and my older brother Dick, who's 15 years older than me, was in World War II in the Navy in the South Pacific. And he said, one morning the captain called everybody on the deck of the ship, said, "I've got an announcement to make." He said, "We just dropped an atomic bomb on Japan, and the war is going to end." And everybody looked at each other and they said, "What's an atomic bomb?" Because nobody knew what that was. And the captain said, "I want you guys to know that if we had invaded, we were going to be the first ones in, and we expected 100% casualties." So to the day of my brother's death, he said Harry Truman, who dropped a bomb in spite of killing all those people, which was a sad thing, saved his life. So.
And you said that you served as well?
I served in Cold War, early Vietnam period. I stayed in the United States, but I was in the Army for a few years.
How many siblings did you have?
3.
Did they all serve?
One was my sister did not.
Okay.
My other brother, other than the one we just discussed, my brother Bob was in the Navy Reserve for 8 years or whatever. So we have 2 brothers in the Navy. For some reason, I chose to go in the Army.
Absolutely.
I'm the baby.
What were your parents' reactions to having 3 boys serving?
Well, I guess, being my older brother was 15 years older than me. I was really little when he was in there. I was only a few years old. I mean, he went into the Navy. He graduated from high school when he was 17 during World War II, and immediately went in the Navy. So, I mean, when he came home, I didn't hardly remember him, but we became real close friends after that later. But the reaction from my parents, I remember my dad. My mother had passed away when I went in, before I went in, but my dad had, and my other brothers said they were happy that I was going to go in. But they didn't want to see me go, but for me it was a valuable experience to be in the Army. Gave me, you really built up a lot of your self-esteem and everything else that, until you're exposed to something like that and all the other people from all over the country, and you realize that you're not really that dumb after all.
Hi, I'm Karen Ostrom. I'm just a new member to the auxiliary. My husband has been a member for many, many years, and now that I'm retired, I've decided to start getting more active in with the auxiliary. And I have to say that I lived with my husband for 2.5 years in Germany when he was in the Army, and it was a total delight learning all about all the different things on the post and the Army, and I'm really getting to know all the people here, so I'm looking forward to spending a lot of fun time here.
Hi, I'm Lynn Langevin, and I'm also a new member to the auxiliary, and I'm enjoying it very much. My dad was in the service. My brother, who just passed away yesterday, was a Marine in the Korean War. So I'm doing this in memory of him today. And I also have a grandson in the Marines and another grandson in the Army. So it's an honor to be a member of the auxiliary. Thank you.
My husband served with the Marine Corps and the Army National Guard and Reserve. My daughter went through college at Concordia in Moorhead and on an ROTC scholarship, and subsequently became an officer in the Army. My son went to the Navy 10 days out of high school, and his first duty assignment was San Diego, which they didn't stay there, in a submarine, which he served on for 14 years, different ones of course, but he was in Guam on Mother's Day of 2004. And my daughter at that point was serving in Ramadi, Iraq. She served 372 days, boots on the ground, as the Army officer. And on Mother's Day 2004, I had the best present I think I've ever had in my life. My son, who's pretty computer guru, figured out how to tap into the military calling system, and he arranged to make a call to Ramadi to wish his sister a happy Mother's Day. Well, she was busy doing something, and some captain came and gave her the message, or she heard that there was a captain trying to give her a message, and then they said, a naval captain. And she hurried up and ran to the phone, because a Navy captain is equivalent to a lieutenant colonel or a colonel in the Army, much higher rank than she was, or her brother, who was on his, just a very low seaman. And so it was just heartwarming to have my son think so much that he would want to get in contact with his sister on Mother's Day, and then tell me the story. And it was just brought tears. Thank you.
Laura his wife is a member of the American Legion Auxiliary. She is also a veteran. Her husband, Doug, is also a veteran. He's a Marine.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. And he contacted the Marine Corps to see if they would support the Poppy Fundraiser, and we have a check here from the Marine Corps. And thank you so much, Doug.
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
You are welcome.
We are so grateful for the support of the community for donating to our Poppy Fund. We will have ladies at Fairway, Hy-Vee, and Donahue's on Wednesday, the 15th and 16th of May, and they'll be there from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, those 2 days. So if you could stop and visit them at those 3 locations, we would so much appreciate it. And any donation you make helps us with the projects that we do all year long. Thank you so much, Faribault.